My name is Ryan Allan. I'm one of the directors here at Scholes Accountants. I started here in 2011 as a trainee. Um, Trained here, qualified here in around about 2015, and worked as a manager, progressing into a director role in 2021. And my experience really is just general practice. In a firm of this size, you can't really specialize too much in any one thing. So across compliance with accounts, audit, and tax, and then getting into other advisory work such as business planning and tax planning. My motivation for getting into accountancy and finance was really that in school, even from an early age, as early as early primary school, really, I always had a aptitude for numbers, generally. So I always knew that I would get into something along that lines. Um, if I hadn't gotten into accountancy, I would have tried to get into something like football, but that's probably a bit more of a pipe dream. Um, so pursued that in secondary school, did accountancy in my standard grades and higher, and used that to go to uni, and then got a job here as a trainee, which was how I got into a career in finance. I came home in summer after second year of uni and seen a job in the paper to start as a trainee, and much preferred the idea of earning and learning rather than spending a lot of money and then at the end of it still not having a job potentially. So I took the opportunity when I could to move back home and start a career. Starting as a trainee, I initially did AAT at the college, completed that after a couple of years, and then went through the ACCA exams and qualified as a accountant in 2015. So yeah, I got that a few years later. Day to day, it's kind of evolved really how my contact with clients earlier. It was in my career, it was generally just contacting them if I had any questions and compliance work. But in my role now, it's really from start to finish in the engagement from onboarding people. I'll have the initial meeting, get to talk to them, get to know about their business and whether the relationship was right to work together, right through to discussing the compliance work, advisory stuff. That's really where you can make a difference to them is when you get to speak to them about what their plans are and how you can help them and how you can help shape their future to have their business set up in the right way and make sure they're tax efficient. And that comes in a variety of forms, whether it's meeting them face to face or by Zoom calls or by just phone calls or emails and messages. But really, the best form of building a relationship is meeting people face to face and getting to know them better that way. Tough to communicate complex financial issues in accounting terms. Really, you've just got to try and break it down as much as you can into the fundamentals. Try and avoid too much technical terms and jargon because that's no doubt going to confuse people. So really, you've got to communicate things in plain English as much as you can, and try and maybe give practical examples of how it works. Technology has advanced massively since I started here 12 years ago. Automation's become a big thing, which helps both us and clients through, for example, clients being able to manage their bookkeeping processes earlier by using tools that add into accounting software. And we use those tools as well, use other automation tools for things like admin tasks and accounting tasks. So it really does help make life easier and allows you to interpret data quicker and more efficiently. The future is probably going to be moving towards AI. How that works at the moment, not 100% sure because they're not all quite there and being able to trust the systems fully. But that's the direction of travel at the moment is that bookkeeping software, other processes will move towards AI which will reduce probably the amount of human input that's needed in that. But at the moment, I don't think it's quite there. Well, I mean, there was obviously a few years ago, pretty much every business in the world went through a big change, had to adapt to massively different circumstances and how people worked through COVID, how you communicated, how you ran your business. And I think everyone just had to adapt at pace, really, particularly ourselves, and learning how to adapt to new technologies. And I think that we were actually probably like to think slightly ahead of the game in technology. We had people working from home before COVID and had everything set up, cloud software and electronic communications and things with the staff working at home before. So we were quite up to speed with that sort of things early. So we were able to help clients that needed to adopt that approach. That's probably the biggest thing that's happened. But you always see changes in circumstances for business, whether it's financial or operationally. Over the years, there's been quite a lot, but success stories, I think, for me, the biggest success stories is where you help a business with business planning for making an expansion or even just getting started. I've been involved in projects where it's involved fairly significant business plans for over a period of 3 to 5 years to help them obtain bank financing, grant funding, which really without that they wouldn't have been able to expand and push their business on. So doing that is really quite rewarding. The first thing you should do is actually speak to their existing accountant and try to bring up their issues to see if there's anything they can do to improve that relationship rather than just going without saying anything. I would encourage that. Um, Otherwise, I would say get recommendations from other people in business. Um, and I would also suggest meeting new accountants first before you move across to see if you can, build a relationship with that person and trust them, because I think that's one of the fundamentals of working with accountants and professionals in general. That's where you can really get value from the relationship. Go for it. You don't need to have relevant experience necessarily to get a role. Um, we're always on the lookout for the right person, not necessarily someone that's got an ace in school and got a degree in accountancy and finance. We've got people here that's come straight from school. We've got people here that's done degrees in engineering. So there's no necessarily one right path to get into accountancy. So if it's something you're thinking about, just go for it.